And I'm back, y'all. And I'm back, y'all. And I'm back. And I'm back, y'all. I'm biggity back, y'all. Check it. What's popping? What is good? I hope everybody is having a very, very dope Sunday. Hope y'all got y'all's some good Sunday dinner, you know. What's poppin', Sun Goddess? Hey, that is what's up. That is what's up. This is something that's really been on my mind to do for a long while. For a super long while. I didn't know when I was gonna actually do it. And being honest with you, I didn't think that I was gonna do it in this type of a way. But with everything that's going on right now, all of the chaos that is going on, when certain messages need to be out, you know, that's just how it goes. It's just how it happens. So I hope y'all are doing good out there. I see we got 4 people, 5 people. Come on in the room. Come on in the chat. Make sure y'all get the likes up. I'm gonna be touching on a few things tonight. I don't expect for this to be a long stream, but I say that all the time. And the crazy part about it is, let me see. I actually started recording like 15 minutes worth of content when it comes to this particular subject. I would say back in early February. Yeah, early February. That's when I started recording. And it's been so much stuff happening between then and now that I keep pushing this back, because it's like every time I think I got what I want to talk about, something else pops up, and then something else pops up, then something else comes up. And with all this chaos that's going on right now, you know, being in that state of mind, and then we're in Taurus season, so it's easy to procrastinate, and it's easy for you to find valid reasons to procrastinate. So I think this is why Spirit is like, yo, you need to go ahead and get some of this out now, and then, you know, come back later and hit them with the part 2. So, as you know, when it comes to these type of live streams, I got a mix that I want to show y'all. And this is a long anticipated mix, because this is the mix that I've been talking about for a while. To my patrons, y'all been had this. And to my YouTubers, y'all are finally about to be able to hear the full mix. So this is the Lord Give Me a Sign remix featuring DMX, J. Cole, and Biggie. And then after that, I'm gonna go ahead and play the 15 minutes of content that I already had pre-recorded on this subject. And then I'm gonna come back and talk about some other things as well. So that's what's coming up. And this is just for me, as far as with my particular journey, why I've been so excited about what's to come in the future, because I got my own DMX type of story. I got my own DMX story, and this is something that happened, I would say 2014. Yeah, 2014. I was still living in Atlanta at the time, and this is, you know, if you checked out my podcast that I did about be careful how you treat people, I talk about the journey. I talk about the journey that I went through being in Atlanta. You know, I went through a whole lot, came all the way up from the bottom, and it took me a good year and a half to fully get on my feet. And the story of how I got my first apartment is that is a super crazy story. But that's where the DMX correlation comes in at. So and this will kind of give people some time to come in. Actually, I need to go ahead and post on Instagram and post that I'm live. I need to do that right quick. So while I'm doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and play this ad for y'all, and then I'm gonna be back with my story.
Peace, this your girl Yvette with Yvette B's Creation, and I have a site that I want you to check out. It's mine. It's www.yvetteBScreation.com, and on there you're going to see my high vibrational products that I offer that's for self-care, and I also am offering services such as consultations and Reiki, which is all for enlightenment, clarity, healing. And for the Reiki session, I do want you to know you will be given work, so please do not sign up if you're not ready to do work, okay? Again, my website is www.yvetteBScreation.com. And I want to do a big thanks to Mr.BandClap for putting this out. Peace.
All right, there we go. So I posted to tell everybody on Instagram that your boy is live, so that way we can get some more people up in here. So for those who know about the stuff that I went through, what's popping, Tawanda? I see the Soul family is coming in the room right now. But so there was a time in Atlanta where I was homeless and I was going to I went to this shelter. What was it? The first one I went to, it was Salvation Army. And then after that, I went to this other shelter in Bankhead called the Jefferson Place. So at the Jefferson Place, I got cool with a few people. I got cool with some people. Shout out to Muja Hood. I call him Pop. Um, these are people who made it out of that situation with me, and they were the ones that were my guardians and my helpers, people that helped me out while I was in that situation. And a lot of my success coming out of that comes from them in a lot of ways. And then I had people that that I met in that situation, and we were all, while we were all down in the dumps together and stuff like that, there was a lot of loyalty, there was a lot of trust, there was a lot of camaraderie and stuff like that. But some people, once they started to get a little money and they start to get a little success out of that shelter, and they haven't learned the lesson, that they were supposed to learn that got them in that position. A lot of those people, they ended up back in that type of situation. They ended up back there because they didn't learn their lesson. Now, with me, just like all issues, I was just passing through. And a lot of the people that I ended up, a lot of the old heads that I ended up linking up with and stuff like that there, they was looking at me and telling me, they was like, yo, like, you ain't supposed to be here. What you doing here? And when they would say these things, back in the day, I never truly understood what they saw in me that would make them say, like, yo, you're not supposed to be here. Why are you here? But it was because I was just passing through. There were some lessons that I had to learn about manhood and about, different things involving life, that it was either I learned it in that way or, the next thing, going to jail. So as far as the agreement that I made before I even came to this earth, I decided to go this route because, if anybody knows about the Jefferson Place shelter, it actually was a jail before it was a shelter, So there was this guy that I ended up meeting there, and I helped him out a lot. And with me being able to help him as far as like finding jobs and, different stuff like that, since my work wasn't done there, he ended up leaving out the shelter before I did. So he was already out, he already got his apartment, all of that stuff. And so I didn't hear from him. This is like 2013. So a year has passed. I've already got out of that situation. I'm already with a roommate and all of that stuff. But now I'm in a transitional phase in my life. All of this is gonna make sense. Just walk with me. So this is 2013 going into 2014. I'm in this transitional phase in my life. I'm with a roommate right now, but it's only temporary. My roommate, who was a Sagittarius at the time, and it was being with that Sagittarius roommate that really, because my fourth house is in Sagittarius, it reminded me of, and this is not, throwing no shade at him, but that situation, it invigorated that in me of being independent. Being independent, being on my own. You know, it invigorated that, like, yo, like I gotta get out of this situation so I can get my own stuff. You know. So I gotta wait. I already got the apartment. Shout out to Gemini, the Legba that was in my life that helped me out a lot when I was in Atlanta. So now I just gotta buy some time. I already got the apartment. I already signed my paperwork and all of that stuff. So now I'm in a transitional period. So it's like, things is real crazy right now. The place that I'm staying at, but I'm working. I'm doing the best that I can because I know at the end of the day, this is only temporary. And, I'm about to be moving into my new apartment very soon. So I'm over here, working hella hours and trying to get all the overtime that I can get and all of this stuff just so I can, I won't have to go back to the house to do nothing but just sleep and just go back out and work, because that's how toxic that situation ended up becoming in the last days, in the last days of me staying there. And then a situation happened, this was like literally like a couple weeks before it was time for me to move into my own apartment. A few weeks before, we end up getting evicted. Me and my roommate end up getting evicted from our apartment. So now I'm scrambling. I'm like, damn, I'm so close. I know it's not meant for me to, come this far, and now I'm just shit out of luck. So I ended up just randomly by chance, I'm on the bus, I'm headed back, and I end up running across that guy that I helped out a long time ago. I end up running across him, and we end up linking back up, and he like, yo, yeah, man, you can stay with me. You can stay with me for a couple weeks or whatever you need, because you help me out. And so when I ended up moving to his place, I find out that he's looking for work. So now I'm over here working at this company where I'm doing security for movie sets and stuff like that. And I get him on working at the job that I'm working at. So now, we end up linking up, now he back on his feet, all of this stuff. So at around this time, he starts seeing this chick, and I think she was like mentally disabled or something. So he over here seeing this chick, and then she ends up, he ends up moving her in. So now it's this whole thing. Oh, I don't want you here while she's here and all of this stuff. And, I'm not that type of person where I would do anything to my homeboy's girl. I've never been no grimy person like that. But a situation ended up coming up. And the reason why this part is so important, and I forgot, this is like the main reason why I'm telling this story, because this dude was a super avid DMX fan. And that's what made me think about this situation. Because he was a super avid DMX fan. Like every day we would wake up you know, he would be playing the is dark. What is it? Is dark and hell is hot. All day. All the DMX albums. That's when I was over there at his place for that week. That's all we was listening to all the time. So, long story short, literally the night before I move into my new place, I end up getting kicked out of there because, you know, she was talking about, oh, I don't want him here and you gone, and you know, he got whipped and all of that. So, you know, I ended up having to leave that situation. But, you know, the uncomfortability was literally just for a night. Literally just for a night. Weeping may endure for a night. Because that morning, I was moving into my new place. So I ended up sleeping on the train until the morning. Actually, the same train that went to my apartment complex. And, you know, that's a part of the story. That's the most important part of the story about what I went through getting my own place in Atlanta. So every time I'm going through something, every time I feel like that the universe is like making me wait, like holding me back, you know, making me wait, making me be patient, I think about that story. You know, I think about that experience that I went through. And, you know, it really balances me back out. So I had to tell that story. Yeah, I mean, because, you know, this is kind of like that same situation. It's a lot of chaos going on. A lot of us, we got that energy right now. It's like, yo, like, you know, I'm just ready to go. I'm just ready to go out. I'm ready to conquer and I'm fired up. But right now, spirit is like, nah, hold up. You know, this is raining outside. It's raining outside. Let's hold on for a minute. Let's hold on. I know you eager to go out there and conquer and go out there, but right now it's a big storm outside. You know, some things are being cleared so that when it is time for you to go out, you know, it's gonna be sunny and everything is gonna be cool. So, you know, for those out there that's feeling like that, I hope that story was a motivation to you as well. You know, weeping may endure for a night. We know DMX was always extremely, you know, Christian, you know, religious. All right. So without further ado, I've already got my intro semantics out the way. So this is the mix. I hope y'all like it. This is the Lord Give Me a Sign remix featuring Biggie, DMX, and J. Cole. All right. So like the brother Burleezy always say, ish. Get it!
Yeah, in the name of Jesus. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. And every tongue that rises against me in judgment thou shalt condemn. Lord, give me a sign. I really need to talk to you, Lord. Since the last time we talked, the walk has been hard. Now I know you haven't left me, but I feel like I'm alone. I'm a big boy now, but I'm still not grown, and I'm still going through it. Pain and the hurt, soaking up trouble like rain in the dirt. And I know only I can stop the rain with just a mention of my Savior's name. In the name of Jesus, devil, I rebuke you for what I go through and trying to make me do what I used to. But all that stops right here. As long as the Lord's in my life, I will have no fear. I will know no pain from the light to the dark. I will show no shame, spit it right from the heart. Cause right from the start, you held me down, and ain't nothing they can tell me now. Lord, give me a sign. Let me know what's on your mind. Let me know what I'm gon' find. It's all in time. Show me how to teach the mind. Show me how to reach the blind. Lord, give me a sign. Show me what I got to do to bring me closer to you. Cause I'ma go through whatever you want me to. Just let me know what to do. Lord, give me a sign.
But what's money without happiness? Or hard times without the people you love? Though I'm not sure what's about to happen next, I ask for strength from the Lord up above. Cause I've been strong so far, but I can feel my grip loosening. Quick, do something before you lose it for good. Get it back and use it for good. And touch the people how you did like before. I'm tired of living with demons cause they always inviting more. Think being broke was better. Now I don't mean that phrase with no disrespect to all my niggas out there living in debt, cashing minimal checks. Turn on the TV, see a nigga Rolex, and fantasize about a life with no stress. I mean this shit sincerely. And as a nigga who was once in your shoes, living with nothing to lose, I hope one day you hear me. Always gonna be a bigger house somewhere, but nigga feel me. Long as the people in that motherfucker love you dearly.
Let me know what's on your mind. Let me know what I'm gon' find. It's all in time. Show me how to teach the mind. Show me how to reach the blind. Lord, give me a sign. Show me what I got to do to bring me closer to you. Cause I'ma go through whatever you want me to. Just let me know what to do. Lord, give me a sign. Please show me something. I'm tired of talking to him, knowing he frontin'. Crying about life ain't nothing. But you either be the one mad cause you trapped or the one hunting. Trapped in your own mind, waiting on the Lord. Or hunting with the word that cuts like a sword. The spoken word is stronger than the strongest man. Carries the whole world like the strongest hand. Through the trials and tribulations, you never let us down, Jesus. I know you're here with us now, Jesus. I know you're still with us now. Keep it real with us now. I wanna feel, show me how. Please let me take your hand, guide me. I walk slow but stay right beside me. Devil's trying to find me, hide me. Hold up, I take that back. Protect me and give me the strength to fight back. Give me a sign. Let me know what's on your mind. Let me know what I'm gon' find. It's all in time. Show me how to teach the mind. Show me how to reach the blind. Lord, give me a sign. Show me what I got to do to bring me closer to you. Cause I'ma go through whatever you want me to. Just let me know what to do. Lord, give me a sign.
My crew was lame. I had enough heart for most of them. Long as I got stuff for most of them solved. Even when I was wrong, I got my point across. They depicted me the boss. Of course, my orange box cut to make the world go round. Plus I'm fucking bitches ain't my homegirls now. Start stacking, dabbled in crack, gun packing. Nickname Medina, made the scenes, took my Ninas. From gym class to in-glass, pass off and global. The only nigga with a mobile. Can't you see like total? Getting larger in wasting taste. Ain't no telling when this felon is heading. Just in case, keep a shell, let clear the space. Your brain was a terrible thing to waste.
Yo, what is poppin'? Before the video starts, I just want to let you all know that I give readings just like the ones that you see every Monday on my channel. I give on point Orisha Tarot card readings for singles and also for couples. I also do natal chart consultations. My Everything is Everything reading is by far my bestseller. If you want to check out any of these services, please visit my website at www.bandclaptv.com. And also, when you go to that website and you scroll down, you will see a link to go to my shadow work class. In this time that we're in right now, shadow work is very, very important. Getting to know yourself, your inner child, really knowing who you are. All of these things are extremely important, and I have a very, very informative self-paced course. Shout out to Spiritual Ascension University and Melanie the Spirit Doula for allowing me to be able to give you all this very, very priceless course, if I do say so myself. So again, if you want to check these things out, go to my website, www.bandclaptv.com. All right, on with the video. All right, y'all, so we back. Welcome to another BandClap TV rant video. I honestly don't know how long this rant video is going to be. It was just something that I had on my mind, and I just wanted to get it out. And this is something that has been on my heart to do a video about pretty much ever since the Super Bowl, because there were some things that kind of went down while I was at work that really prompted for me to make a video like this. And it's something that I want to pose a question for you all too, because with everything that's going on right now, you having that full access to the energy of your inner child is extremely important. You know, one of my most favorite and most prized series that I've done on my YouTube channel is the Getting to Know Your Inner Child series. And that whole series spun off a shadow work class that is on my www.bandclaptv.com website. So you know, anything talking about my inner child and inner child type things is very dear to me, especially having a very close connection with the Eshu Legba type of energies that deals with that innocence and childlike type of dispositions. Speaking of Legba and Ayazan, I want to tell y'all this small story about what happened when I went to the Crossroads the other day. So a few years ago, when I really started to get more serious about my spiritual journey, because around this time I've already had my experiences with Oshun and other Orishas and stuff like that. But when I really started to research about Papa Legba and also about Eshu, I started to get led to wanting to go to a crossroad or something like that, so I can have my own experiences with those energies. Because at the end of the day, it's not necessarily you trying to find something outside of yourself. It's more of you wanting to do a outward representation of praising the energies that are already inside of you. So in my live stream that I did about the Orisha stories and the importance of self-love, which is on my Patreon, I talked about how I gave an offering to Oshun in the river in Atlanta. So now, since I'm dealing with the Eshu and Papa Legba energies in Florida, it only makes sense for me to give offering to those energies as well, because any type of offering or anything that I give to spirit, I always get it back 100-fold. I always get it back in some type of way. So it's not like you're losing anything. So this truck that I got now, I just got this truck, I would say early 2019. So before then, I would have to catch the bus around places. I had a few bikes that I had that I would get around. And it's funny because I remember when I would ride my bike around Winter Park, I would always stop at this certain crossroad to rest. And this is a crossroad that's between two apartment complexes. And then there's this real big rock and this real tall palm tree that's beside it. So as the years went by, I started to get spiritually led to leave my offerings for Papa Legba at this particular crossroad. And I've been doing this for a few years now, and it's something that I love doing. And I also like going to Daytona Beach to see Yemoya too. And I've made a few videos talking about me going to the crossroad and all of that. And every time I go to the crossroad and give my offering and spend a little time over there and all of that, I always ask spirit to give me a sign and show me that they got the offering. And in very funny, weird, and quirky ways, they would send me that sign and let me know that they received the offering. So last Monday, after I got finished with my forecast, I was driving and I drove past the crossroad that I usually go to. Now, mind you, I haven't been to this crossroad in a while because I've been in Memphis, then I've been in Tampa, then I've been in Miami. So I haven't really been going to the crossroad like I normally would do. So I'm driving, I'm at the red light. All of a sudden, my inner child started jumping up and down like a kid at Disneyland, wanting me to stop at the crossroad. So I went to the liquor store, and it was like Legba was letting me know what he wanted and stuff. So I got the 2 bottles, I got some pennies, this ring that I found, and I went to the crossroad. And as I'm going there, I can just feel this overwhelming sense of love, like a sense of love that you would feel when you go to your grandmother's house and they haven't seen you in a long time and they're just so happy that you visited them because they don't really get a lot of visitors like that. That's exactly how I felt on the inside as I was going to the Crossroad. But this time, something felt a little different. It was like I felt a very, very heavy feminine presence that was at the Crossroad too. And when I thought about it, I knew exactly who that was. It was Ayazan. So it was very special because I was actually able to feel that warmth and harmonious energies of Legba and Ayazan together. And they're really, really funny. And you can tell that they love each other very much. So I had this 100 proof New Orleans type of whiskey. Legba wanted that. And then I had some type of honey liquor or something like that. And Ayazan wanted that. And I gave her the ring that I had and all the other things that I did when I was there. And I left just feeling so happy on the inside. I just felt really, really good. But I was kind of wondering, how are they going to show me that they received the offering? So I parked, and right before I could get out the car, something told me to look on my left back window. And I kind of saw something, and it was balled up in a ball, and it was by that window, and it was hanging from that window. And the ball was just about as big as a 50-cent piece or a $50. And as I turned the light on and flashed the flashlight at it, it was a huge spider. Like, this spider was so huge, and I knew it was a female spider because it was spinning a web. And I was like, oh shit. I didn't know that this was the sign that y'all was gonna give me. And it was like, before I could be overcome with any fear or anything, Legba and Ayazan, they was trying to let me know that that was them. So I'm rummaging around trying to find something because I started to think in my head real fast, how can I get rid of this spider? Because it was huge. So all while I'm rummaging around, I'm like, Ashe Ayazan, Ashe Legba, I appreciate y'all for giving me this sign, but I'm sorry in advance that I'm about to kill this spider. So I had 3 choices, and it was like the third choice was what Spirit wanted me to do. But if I overcame myself with fear, I would automatically choose choice 1 or choice 2. And it was like in my mind, as I'm running through these different choices, my mind is showing me the different outcomes of each choice. It was crazy because not a lot of us have a situation in our life to where we can kind of gauge and analyze how we will act when we're in fight or flight mode, or when we're in that now or never type of mode where you gotta think on your feet real fast and make a choice before it's too late. So I managed to find a can of roach spray, but it was damn near empty. So that was choice number 1. I was gonna try to spray it. So beside me was like these old papers and stuff. So choice number 2, I was gonna hit it with the papers, but then I started to think choice number 1 is gonna be risky because there's not a lot of roach spray in the can. So if I spray it, all it's gonna do is run and hide somewhere in my truck, and then I'll never find it. So as I'm trying to figure out what choice I'm gonna make in these 10 seconds, the spider started to climb up the ceiling. So I'm like, oh shit, I ain't really got that much time. But the good thing was, since it's on the ceiling, I can take the papers that I had and just smoosh it on the ceiling and then get a napkin or something and wipe it up. But something spiritually on the inside of me did not want me to kill that spider. And I don't got arachnophobia. I think arachnophobia is the fear of spiders. But when I tell y'all, this spider was huge. Not huge like the ones that are in Australia, but it was huge as in the biggest one that I've seen just yet. So all of a sudden, on the corner of my eye, I see this little blue thermos cup that I would put my spliffy in, and I could seal it up tight and no one would know. So on the inside, Spirit was like, yo, take that cup, put the spider in it, and then set it free outside. So now there's a battle going on the inside of me because I'm like, yo, I don't know if this is a jumping spider. You know how they are in the movies and stuff like that. But you know when Spirit tells me to do something, it's always a reason behind it. So I sucked it up, counted to 3, and I put the cup under the ceiling where the spider was at and caught it in there. And I was actually able to catch the spider. Man, when I tell y'all, on the inside, I felt like I was playing one of those Pokemon games, and I found this rare Pokemon that in most games, you can only catch this rare Pokemon with Master Ball. And all I got is some Great Balls, and I was able to catch it. That's how I felt. And it's funny because even if you don't know that analogy about Pokemon, the fact that I was able to get over the small fear that I had of that spider, and I was able to catch it and set it free outside, you definitely had to have some great balls in order to pull off something like that. So not only did I receive my sign that they definitely got the offering, but in the sign, they also taught me a very, very valuable lesson about how sometimes the quick and easy way isn't necessarily the best way all the time. Another thing that I learned was how mentally you can cast black magic on yourself through fear. Because the main reason why I was in fear like I was because all the things that I was assuming that spider was going to do. Now, if I knew the extensive knowledge about spiders like I know about the orishas, I would have known that that particular family of spiders may be very harmless. So it taught me about when you're on this journey, there's always things to learn. Never feel like this detail or that detail doesn't need to be learned about. We have a whole world that is around us. And sometimes when you study the smallest things, it teaches you about how the bigger things function and how knowledge always kills that fear. Because how can you fear something that you understand and that you know the knowledge about it? Now, the third and final thing that I learned from this, and this is the reason why I wanted to tell this story in this particular rant video, was that had it not been for me getting to know my inner child, had it not been for me doing that shadow work so that spirit can actually communicate with me and let me know, yo, this spider is a representation of Ayazan. This spider is a representation of Legba, and calming me down enough to where choice number 3 started to be more visible. And it was because of that contact with spirit that I was then able to step out on faith that when I put that cup under the ceiling, that the spider wasn't going to jump on me, or it wasn't going to hurry up and crawl out and get on my arm, or all of these things that in my mind was trying to make up all of these scenarios where I got attacked by that spider. And with all those 3 things combined, I was able to safely set that spider free outside, and I got the sign that I wanted. But just think for a minute, if I didn't know my inner child, if I didn't listen to that voice of my inner child, because we don't have that connection. And that situation would have left me in so much fear that I would have ended up doing choice number 1 or 2. And yeah, I would have killed the spider and all of that. But the lesson and the message that I got by setting that spider free, it would have never happened. It would have been just another instance of me seeing a spider and killing it and going on about my business. Because that's the one thing that human children shows you, how you can take anything and make it fun, make it an adventure and all of those things. Remember in my podcast when I was talking about how SU represents your inner child, and I was talking about how you can give a little kid a box and some construction paper and some little odds and ends, and you leave that baby with that, and then you come back into the room or whatever, and that child turned that box into a car, or he might have turned that box into a spaceship or a rocket ship or any number of things. And in that child's mind, he feels like he actually made a whole car. He feels like he actually made a whole spaceship, because the power of your imagination and the power of your curiosity and your creativity in childhood, that's when all these things are at its peak. Now, your inner child does the same thing, but it's just on an inner level. Your inner child is responsible for taking your issues, aka taking your issues, and number 1, making them small and bite-sized, and that's what keeps you from being depressed and all up in your feelings and all of that. And then the most important thing that our inner children do is our inner children then finds ways to take those issues and spin it around for our good. But if you're not connected to your inner child, now that means that you're only dealing with things on the surface. And that's very dangerous, because when these things happen on the surface, the natural thing when your body or your mind doesn't know any other type of response mechanism when you go through these different issues is to put you in a certain type of response that everybody else would have, which is that fight or flight. And when you're in that mode, you're literally acting in your animalistic nature unless you got something else on the inside of you to offset that. And this is how people get in these situations, and they do things that's very, very out of their character. And then they have to apologize for these things later if they're not locked up or died, because they went all half-cocked on a certain situation and didn't analyze it and get the spiritual guidance as to if they should have even been in that environment or participated in a certain thing anyway. And depending on who you are, your inner child is going to connect with you and try to communicate with you in different ways. For some of us, our inner child would speak to us in the form of that little voice in your head that tells you the right thing to do, but you ignore it. Sometimes your inner child will connect with you and try to speak to you through gut feelings and stuff like that. And then you end up not listening to that gut feeling. And then that's how you end up in a lot of trouble. And the more and more you go through your life not listening to that gut feeling or not listening to that little voice in your head that's telling you what's right, the more you ignore it and try to tune it out, those things start to get smaller and smaller. And when you think about it, you doing those things is a equivalent to you putting a mask on your inner child. So now the stage has been set. I appreciate everybody for being in the building. So what did y'all think about that mix? What's poppin', Know Thyself? Hope y'all like that mix. This one is very dear to me. And also, I hope you all like the beginning part of this, because this is what we're going to be talking about for a little while. That was a great mix. I appreciate that, Sister Vance. So, how many people in the chat was able to check out Sister Myra lecture yesterday? How many people were honored, had the privilege and had the honor to hear Sister Myra yesterday at the Spiritual Ascension University? Did anybody in the chat put a 1 in the chat if you was there? And shout out to Sister Myra. Yeah, it was amazing, wasn't it? Wasn't it amazing? Sister Myra ain't missed a beat. She ain't missed a beat. She bringing it exactly the way she brought it back in the day. Like, it kind of give me those vibes, like if Bobby Hemmett decided to come out of retirement and give us one last little lecture, for the Soul Family. One last lecture for the Soul Family. That's what that felt like yesterday. Yeah, definitely. And it meant a lot to me, especially when she said she's a Gemini moon. And I'm a Gemini sun. My grandfather is a Gemini moon. So, listening to her, it kind of put me back in that mind frame of those very few times, but those very memorable times when I would have those real deep and serious conversations with my granddad. Those times where I wouldn't be doing right, and I would get sent over my grandma's house, and my granddad would sit down and talk to me. That's what it felt like. But this, this was a, you ain't doing nothing wrong. You might feel like that things are wrong because of the situation right now, but you're actually in the right place. You know, that's what this particular lecture made me feel like. And I hope for you all out there, it made y'all feel the same way. That's my moon and Venus. Yeah. You know, and it was extremely refreshing being able to hear her speak. And it's funny because, you know, she kind of reminded me of an era where, you know, you had a bunch of women who were very, very prominent in the lecture circuit as well, that were spitting fire, like spitting that super truth, you know. You had people like Shahrazad Ali. You had Frances Cress Welsing. You had Sister Soldier, you know, Sister Myra. You had Joy DeGruy. Who else? We had Queen Afua. You know, we still got Queen Afua. You know, she's still out doing stuff. But you know, and all of these different type of women that was out during that time, you know, the underlying message was always centered on truth, always centered on righteousness. However way they decided to express it. However way they decided to express it. And at that time, you know, since the type of stuff that those women and men were talking about back then, a lot of that stuff, especially dealing with occult and metaphysics and stuff like that, you know, it was underground. You know, it was underground. So there was still a sacredness to it. You know, it's kind of like the Orisha stories. It's like you had to be there. It's like you're hearing it from me because I was there. You know, you had to be there, even if you hear it, even if you watch the playback of the lecture or whatever. It's a different energy if you were actually there. Let me see. Torio said, I'm a Virgo sun, late Taurus moon. I feel a lot of Mercury. Oh yeah, definitely. You know, because it's all about stability at the end of the day. So you do a lot of analyzing. Because deep down, you're looking for a form of stability, and you know, this system is gonna make you feel like the stability is more important in an outward level, when at the end of the day, you know, Taurus moon, that's a version of the baby Oshun. You know, it's more important for you to get with some Obatala like spiritual information and stuff like that, so that way your inner stability is on point. Because right now, and it's funny because you know, Sister Myra, she touched on a lot of that stuff as well, and that's why I had to play that 15-minute clip, because I recorded that a while ago, you know, way before Sister Myra came up and did her lecture yesterday. And it was just crazy how a lot of the things that we were touching on was very similar. But not only was it similar, it was unique at the same time. And then it made me kind of think about also in the music industry. It also made me think about the music industry and you know, all the stuff that's going on. It was like we was all in one room. Yeah, it sure was. It definitely was. It definitely was. And I really started thinking about like Hollywood and the music industry, you know, all of these different things when it comes to the transition from the old reality to the new reality. And you know, these past few weeks with and in my On Point Orisha Tarot, I already talked about the 3 messengers. You know, the 3 messengers that passed away and the 3 messengers that were uplifted because of that. So you got the 3 messengers, Black Rob, DMX, and Shock G. And then you got the other 3 messengers, Jay-Z, Nas, and DJ Khaled. You know? And if you remember what I said in that reading that came out way before the Sorry Not Sorry video came out, you'll understand why I called those 6 people out. But one thing that I noticed, you know, how now you got everybody wanting to be ratchet. You got everybody wanting to. I remember watching this Breakfast Club. Nah, it was DJ Vlad. I remember looking at this DJ Vlad interview with Maya, and she was talking about how trap and hip hop has taken over and damn near replaced the R&B industry. But me, you know, somebody who haven't listened to the radio in his car for the 2.5 years that he's had it, you know, I look around and I talk to people, you know, on the ground. I'm talking to people and they're like, yo, like, I miss R&B. I miss R&B. You know, I wish that they could play more R&B, you know, and they listen to the radio. But if you're listening, or if you're looking at this through a social, you know, media type of standpoint, you would think that don't nobody like R&B. You know, you would think that don't nobody like ballads anymore. You would think that don't nobody like songs that have a beginning, a middle, and an end to them. You know, you would think that nobody likes that. If you let them tell it, if you let the media tell it. And this is why it is so important to unplug. So you can, and it's funny because what do you say when you listening to a whole lot of ratchet gutter music, you know, and then all of a sudden that Leave the Door Open song come on? Like they played an hour full of City Girls, WAP, Saweetie, tap it in, you know, bust it, is you bussin', you know, So you're hearing that all day, then all of a sudden they turn on I'ma Leave the Door Open by Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars. You know, what's the first thing that you say? You're like, damn, man, this is a breath of fresh air. This is a breath of fresh air right here. You know, that's what you say. So it's like you're in this environment, you know, because you don't understand that you can just be unplugged and create your own muse. You know, you can create your own. So instead, you know, you in this toxic musical environment, you know, it is and this system, the soullessness is the virus. The soullessness is the virus that has been sweeping through the whole muse industry. And when I say muse, I want to talk about for a second the 9 muses. And these are the things right now that has been affected by this virus. Hold on. Let me pull it up. I thought I had it. This is on the fly. I didn't even know I was going to be talking about the nine muses. Okay. So, and all of this is going to make sense. Don't worry. So when we talk about the muses, you know, we got to start off with the 5th house in astrology. You know, that is the house of the muse, the house of Oshun, which is she can be the ultimate muse. The baby Oshun is the ultimate muse. Whatever sign you have in your 5th house, that represents a lot about your muse and how your muse is activated, you know. So we got Calliope. Now don't crucify me in the chat. Don't crucify me in the chat because I don't know how to say a lot of these words. So don't crucify me. I don't know how to say a lot of these words, but I'm gonna try. So you got Calliope, which is the muse of epic poetry. The muse of epic poetry. And then we got Cleo. Who all remember Mrs. Cleo? But this is spelled C-L-I-O. Cleo is the muse of history. You know? So they had to take the soullessness out of history. See, what you're gonna learn with these nine muses make up the mask that has been put over this body, this voice, the mask that has been put over this voice, which is the soul, you know, the muse, the soul, and you know how this mask was woven together. So we got Calliope. I think that's how you spell it or how you say it. C-A-L-L-I-O-P-E. The muse of epic poetry. So this so they had to take the soullessness out of that. Cleo, the muse of history, So a lot of us grow up not learning about the history of the melanated people and how truly great we are, how great we are. We don't learn that in traditional school, because the muse of history had to get the soul extracted from it. So any history that you learn in school is going to be soulless history. It's not going to do anything to your soul. It's not going to awaken your soul. Now this is the big one right here. This is the big muse that really had to be tamed a lot. This muse had to be corrupted a lot, because this is the muse right here that can bring everybody together. This is the muse that you don't hear in music like that, that's being played out to the masses, that's meant to program the masses. And this is Erato, the muse of love poetry. Long as I live, do, my first love. Erato. That is the muse of love poetry. So being completely honest, when you listen to a lot of the music that's coming out, that's being played all on the radio, when it comes to black people versus people of other races, this particular muse has been heavily tampered with when it comes to each race, when it comes to each race of people. Because when it comes to us melanated people, this muse right here had to be there had to be a huge mask. There had to be a huge mask put over this particular muse. Because remember what I said, Bobby Hemmett, he says this in a lot of his lectures. The one thing that this industry, system of soulless beings, do not want you to see is a melanated man and woman in a passionate love embrace. So this is the reason why Neo Soul had to go, and this is the reason why a lot of the atmosphere had to change. The atmosphere had to change to make the artists, especially the male artists, who were using this particular muse to make their money and stuff like that. Now the atmosphere is so different that if you're caught up in social media now, you wouldn't feel like no black woman is worth no black woman is worth this muse. And all of this is by design, because these are all gifts. These are all gifts that that your soul would like to express freely. But just like what Sister Myra so eloquently put it, just like how she so eloquently put it, since we live in a world that is dominated by the material, and it's all about making money and stuff like that. Since we live in that type of a world, everything, if you can't make money with it, it make you almost not even want to grow it. You know, it make you almost not even want to, you know, to deal with that. So what you do, you put a mask on your inner child. Whenever your inner child tries to express one of these muses outward, because you live in an environment where you feel like, since it's not valuable to make you money or whatever, it must not be important. It must not be important because it doesn't make you money, or it's not important because it's not, you know, something that you can get rich off of or whatever. And then for the people who are super desperate, you know, they created this industry to where, yeah, you'll be able to make money and stuff like that off of your muses and all of that. But on the back end, the avatar that they create for you, the avatar that you've been using your muse in for I don't know how long and stuff like that, you created a bond with this avatar because you've poured in so much of your solar essence into this avatar, you know, because that's what you had to do to make all this money. So you pour all of this solar essence into this avatar just to find out that you don't even own the avatar. They own it. So this is where you find out, like, damn, I sold my soul. And it's a devilish thing to do. That's a very devilish thing to do. So that's why you say I sold my soul to the devil, because that's a devilish thing to do. That's the 8 of air, upright. The mindset of trying to imprison something pure and innocent for your own selfish rule, for your own selfish gain, and all of that. And so he who controls the muse can run the world. He who controls the muse, the energy level of the muse that goes out to the masses, he who controls that runs the world. You know? Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. Tawanda said, for me, it never left because I gravitate to that kind of music. Yay, that's what's up. Tori said, oh, what's up, Victoria the Christ? Anything for money. Even Michael Jackson talked about it. Vulnerability in our community has been weaponized as a weakness. In my opinion, it hardens us towards each other and keeps us apart. Yeah, but we can thank the muse. We can thank this tainted muse for that. See, everybody's talking about this virus, the outward virus, where you got to wear a mask. And I'm gonna talk about that. I'm probably gonna talk about that in part 2, because on this part, I just really want to talk about it a little bit more on a metaphysics type of level, in a way. Because a lot of us feel like if you don't take the Visine, you're better than the people who have to take it. You know, a lot of people got this mindset of, you know, I tested for it and I was negative, so I'm straight. Like, you haven't been affected with any of these other viruses, you know, because these are viruses that have been uploaded to you. And, you know, just like the worms in the pork chop, you don't know it. You won't know it until you start going through that shadow work journey, and you start cleaning out. You start cleaning out, you know, these muses, and you start cleaning stuff out. So let me see. So we got Erato. That is the muse of love poetry. So a huge mask had to be put over that. So if you want to make it in the industry and you want to do something that's kind of R&B, it has to be about lust. It got to be about lust. It got to be hypersexual. You know, it gotta be real raunchy. You know, because everybody talk about Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B, but you know, what about Janae Aiko? Y'all remember that remix? That remix that I did with the Janae Aiko? That was just as raunchy as the Megan Thee Stallion song. It's just that she was a lot more sensual with her voice. You know, that's how them succubuses and sirens, that's how they get to you. You know? The ones who haven't taken it yet, I bet 90% of everyone. Yeah. You know. And that's true. That's true. Okay, so we got the muse of love poetry. That's the biggest thing. And then we got Ituerpe. Euterpe. Iterpe. And this is the muse of music. You know? So if you want to get into the music industry, you're gonna have to make some deals with Iterpe. You got to make a deal with Iterpe, which is the muse of music, because that's gonna be the muse. That's going to be the muse that is going to control you the most. And this is the big one. You know, for us who's trying to get into the music industry. You know, this is the big one. This is the big one right here. And this kind of talks about music as a whole. Like, I mean, let's think about it. The only reason why in this day and time, you know, we still got multi-platinum albums and all of these millions of streams and all of this stuff. A lot of this stuff has been digitally tampered with. You know, people ain't really buying these albums in mass, like they want to make you to believe. It was funny. There was this video of Moneybagg Yo, and he put on this concert outside, and it looked like it was probably like 30 people there. You know, it looked crazy. And so he commented. He was like, "I did 4 shows. I did 4 shows that day, and or whatever." But you know, that's kind of showing you the real. That's kind of showing you the real. That either a lot of these a lot of these albums going number one and all of that stuff is something that's digitally doctored, and that it is something that you can do. There's a few people on YouTube that talks about how to do it. And you know, with me being in the industry a little bit, I used to see so many people that came up with me and they blew up because of that. And the reason why I ain't blow up, because I ain't want to do that. You know, I could be way bigger on YouTube than I am now if I chose to play the game. Pretty much, you know. All right, Alluring Fire. Yeah, it's still gonna be here when you get home. So then, when we talk about the media, and how we're controlled with our trauma, you know, everything when it comes to melanated people, everything got to be traumatic. You know, there's never the best thing that ever happened to black people in the media, at least you know, recent, is Obama being elected. And then we find out Obama was nothing but a mask. He was nothing but a mask to hide all the evil stuff that was going on behind the scenes. You know? But when it comes to us melanated people in the media, you know, they try to show the worst of us. And y'all know that. You know, y'all know that. So this Mel Pomine, the muse of tragedy, you know, this is the muse that they left this one alone. You know, they left this one alone because they tainted all the other ones. So with this muse, all they got to do is kind of amp this one up a little bit. You know, so that everything, when it comes to us, even if we make good music, you know, we're going to base it on some tragedy that we went through. You know, some of the best love songs, and R&B songs, you know, came from a tragedy, came from a tragic situation, you know, a heartbreak or whatever, you know, tragic situation. And those would be the type of music, even the love making music that had a lot of lust on it and stuff like that. This was the stuff that was really, really put out to the masses to program you know. And even with the poetry, because you know, rap is nothing but epic poetry. That's all rap is. And this was the first muse. This was the first muse that had to be tampered with. So as you can see, in this time right now, some of the most influential rap songs, some of the most influential rap music has some type of tragedy based around it. You know, think about Meek Mill, Dreams and Nightmares. You know, think about Tupac, Hit 'Em Up. You know, different songs, and I'm not talking about Dreams and Nightmares, but you know, different songs that, you know, it was based on tragedy, and you know, there's a lot of negative energy around it that's based around it, like Many Men and a few of these other songs. You know, these were songs that they were good songs. Like, I'm not gonna trip, but these wasn't songs that were supposed to be put out for the masses to consume, as far as like a radio single or something like that. Because see, when it comes to making music, and when it comes to making songs, and this is some notes that I had. Since a song has so many different muses within it, this is the reason why the music industry is the most is where most of the warfare. Because remember, Sister Myra, she was talking about the spiritual warfare that's going on right now. And again, the muse is the main thing that's trying to be under attack. They don't want you to become one with your muse and all of that. I had to make sure that I was still online. Make sure y'all like the video. And if this stream is too crazy, if it get too crazy as far as with the skipping and stuff like that, I'll take this one down and repost it. So you got all of these different muses that you have to put in a song. You got the epic poetry. You got the muse of history. Or you may be using the muse of love poetry. You may use the muse of tragedy, the muse of dance. You can use damn near all of these muses in one song. And that's why the music industry, like I said, is extremely important, that the music industry is fully under the control of the soulless beings. This is one of the main things that's being redeemed right now, because as you can see, a lot of God beings fail because of the music industry. We got countless numbers of gods and goddesses that has come through the music industry and met their demise because of this. Because they didn't fully understand what they were doing. They didn't fully understand what they were doing until it was too late. And again, the reason why I added J. Cole to that mix is because I always talk about the J. Cole curse. I always talk about the J. Cole curse because this is something that a lot of artists get into when they come into consciousness while they're in the industry and they can't get out. Because the one thing that J. Cole found out is the one thing that I'm telling you right now is that, they say words are spells and, all of that type of stuff. But when it comes to a song in its full entirety, a song is a super spell, especially when it's repeated. A song is a super spell, especially when it's repeated. Why did you think back in the ancient times when we would chant and we would summon different spirits and stuff like that to help us out with our journey, and there would be a ceremony, there'd be a whole bunch of music, people chanting and singing, dancing, drumming, alcohol, a lot of alcohol and stuff like that. You know, people being possessed. But when you make a song, you can put all of that into the song. You can put all of that into the song. And you can also put in, because this is also something that was channeled to me too, how you can also, you know, program with these muses with the song. And I know a lot of y'all heard about black masking, you know, black masking, how you got certain songs and stuff like that. Well, pretty much all songs got a form of this in it now, where there's different words and different phrases that's put in music and put in movies and stuff like that to get you to do things without you knowing that it was that song or that movie that made you do it. So there was a experiment in theaters and stuff like that, and you can look this up. In this experiment, while the movie, before the movie started, they would have these commercials, and it'll be like a small millisecond. They would flash, go buy popcorn, or they will flash a drink or a soda or a hamburger or something like that across the screen real fast, where you can't hardly detect it. And so the senses that would tell you like, yo, it's this movie that's making you hungry. You're not really hungry. You know, the black masking, it goes past those senses and it goes straight to the action. You know, get up, go spend your money and get you some popcorn, you know. So this is what music and movies and everything that's under this music media manipulation, you know, this is how they're able to inject. Black masking is how in this industry they're able to inject viruses. They're able to inject viruses in the muse. So when you intake it, and you're intaking it in multiple ways, because you know you got songs, the same song you hear on the radio is the same song that you're going to hear in your YouTube video ad, and then the same song that you hear in your YouTube video ad is going to be the same song that you hear you know, on your drive home from work. And then, you know, if you want to listen to some meditation or you want to listen to something before you go to bed or whatever, that song might play again. So going back to what Brother Panic said, how does the subconscious mind get programmed? Through trauma, repetition, and symbols. So with music, the trauma and the repetition is already there. So now you understand, you know, breaking this down, you know, the spell is not only in just the lyrics, it's the way that it's being delivered, the beat, the drumming, the drums, the type of drums that are used, because we understand about the history of the 808. You know, there's a real deep history behind the 808 drums. You know, it has a lot to do with war and stuff like that. You know, this is why when you hear these drill music and stuff like that, and it got the 808 drums, it make you think about war. You know, it's very deep. It's very deep. And then, you know, within the virus, they injected a certain type of dance that you're going to be triggered to do when you intake this spell, because that's what a song is it's a spell. So when you intake the spell, which is the song, you know, it gives you a action. It gives you an action. And this'll, and a lot of times this may be an action that that you didn't even have in your mind that you wanted to do until you listen to this particular song. Because at the end of the day, the reason why this black masking is so important when it comes to the muse industry. The muse industry is anything dealing with entertainment and media. Anything dealing with entertainment and media. When it comes to this muse industry. Hold on, y'all. Let me make sure. If y'all can hear me in the chat, push one. Press one in the chat. My computer went out. Or my thing went out. If y'all can still hear me, push one in the chat. I don't know how bad this is lagging. If y'all can hear me in the chat, put a 1 so I can know. I can know that I'm still online. All right, I appreciate y'all. So yeah. So you got the 808, and that's doing things. So now when a lot of people don't understand this as well. A lot of people don't understand the processes, the different processes that happens in your body when you're listening to a song. There's a lot of different processes that's going on. There's a lot of different things that's happening from the moment the music reaches your ears. There's a lot of things that goes on in your body while that's going on. So while all of these other things are firing off, if the song is dope, if it's dope, if it's fire, if you feel like it's fire, aka spiritually you feel like it identifies with you, so it shoots off extra endorphins, and it shoots off all of these happy hormones and all of that stuff. So with all of these different processes that's going on, it's a distraction. It's chaos and distraction that's going on right now. So in the midst of that, there's a small little virus injected in there. There's a small virus injected in the poetry of the song. There's a virus that is injected into the history. There's a small virus that is injected in the melody, in the music itself. It's real deep. And every time that you listen to this particular spell, aka every time you intake the virus, every time you intake it, this corrupts. It corrupts your it corrupts the muse inside of you. Through your brain. So now you got all of these other senses, all of these other senses that are firing off because this song is so dope that the little virus that they injected in there, flashing in there, you don't even pay it no attention because the song is so dope. The song is so hard. You're not even paying it no attention until a situation happened where, you mad at somebody, you want revenge, and then you turn on that song and it gives you that motivation that you need to pull up on that person with the shotty, with the banger, something that, you wouldn't necessarily do it like that, but since you're so hyped up because of this song, you actually go through with it. So again, this is a version of how our muse itself, this is how a mask can be placed on your inner child when it's trying to express itself to the world through these different muses. Because at the end of the day, we live in a world that is based on materialism, that is based on you having to take a pure muse and disrespect it and try to mold it in a certain way because that's what's going to make you the most money. And as you can see, a lot of us are seeing through the BS right now. And this goes back to what Melanie and Sister Myra was talking about during this time of chaos. A lot of us, if you got a still spirit and a calm mind, you're gonna be able to look within this chaos and really be able to identify with some hidden things that wouldn't be at your disposal if you weren't the way you are. So going back to what Melanie and what Sister Myra was talking about with that. Hold on, y'all. Let me make sure I'm still here. When I tell you I be going through so much issues trying to get this stuff out. Give me 1 second, y'all. Okay. All right. So, and it was just like when Melanie was talking about you being able to walk into this chaos and pick out the different things that you need. So right now, while again, just like I was saying last year, while this matrix as we know it is in a state of chaos right now, don't let that sorry not sorry fool you, and you saw how a lot of us were able to see through the BS when it came to that video. Something that back in the 90s, when that type of living or that type of lifestyle was something that was being plastered all over the media around that time, we would have accepted it. But again, right now, since there's a lot of tearing down, a lot of peril, a lot of chaos going on, a lot of things are being exposed. And this is one of them. Right now, the matrix as we know it, has a mask on. When you think about it, every single industry that has to do with this matrix, this media, everybody got a mask on. You know, everybody got a mask on. This whole matrix, as we know it, has a mask on, which is good. And the reason why this is good, because as long as this matrix had the voice, you know, had access to the voice and stuff like that, they were always able to manipulate you into not seeing what you see. Until now, they was always able to do that. But now, since the matrix has a mask on it, it's trying to move around chaotically. And they're trying to make everybody else move around chaotically with it. So I bet you're wondering, why is it that this matrix got a mask on it and is moving around chaotically, and they want everybody else to move around chaotically with it? Why is that? Well, it's simply because, like we always say, the eyes are your windows to the soul, and the soul is always talking. I'm gonna say it again. Not only are your eyes the windows to the soul, but your soul is always talking. That's why they say your eyes don't lie. Your eyes never lie. The same way they say that your brain never shuts off. Even when you sleep, your soul never stops communicating with you. You know, even when you're asleep, mentally, spiritually, psychologically, you know, your soul is always trying to talk to you. But until you realize how important your soul talking to you is, you would put a mask on your inner child. You know, and that's on a personal level. So on a macro level, if you're right now and you're calm-minded, you're not easily to be manipulated or agitated. You're not easily to be thrown off kilter and stuff like that. You're staying in the middle. All the things that I've been talking about since 2020. You know, making sure that you're staying in the middle. Right now, if you got that type of mindset and you peer off into this matrix, which is the entertainment and media and athletic industries, you're going to be able to see like you've never been able to in any time in history. You're going to be able to see right now how soulless this matrix really is. And it's almost going to make you feel it's going to almost make you feel bad that there was a once upon a time that you felt like you needed to disrespect the energy of your inner child by wanting to become a celebrity in this wicked industry that has no soul. It can't live on its own. It can't live on its own unless they have some imprisoned souls that they can control and project out that solar energy to make them seem like that it's the best place to be. And this is why right now, if you can see, there's a lot of people. That's what a lot of people are seeing right now. A lot of the attendance to these athletic events are going down. People aren't even watching it like they used to. People aren't watching wrestling and stuff like that like they used to. A lot of these albums that's coming out right now are flopping. A lot of these artists doing virtual concerts and doing concerts and stuff like that, and not a lot of people are attending. Right now, if you wasn't a rapper, or a artist or somebody who was talking about something of substance before this pandemic happened, you in trouble right now. Because you see what they had, you see what they did with YoungBoy. He was the most poppinest artist with that particular trap style, with that style, that genre of rap music. And he would have hundreds of thousands of people at his concerts, always packed. But now, look where he's at now. So definitely keep that in mind. I don't think I want to go any farther. Yeah, I'm gonna stop right there. I think we covered a lot. We've been here almost 2 hours. I think we definitely covered a lot today. And when I come out with part 2, I'm gonna go even deeper, talk about some things. So I can't wait to do that with y'all on this birth month. If anybody want to donate to the Big 3-0 birthday fund, cash out me Mr.BCN if you want to donate to my birthday fund. Yeah, I mean. But yeah, so I'm gonna stop it right here. I appreciate all of y'all for coming out and kicking it with your boy. A lot of dope content coming up soon. I'm just trying to wait on this storm to die down, because I definitely got for my birthday though. I'm really trying to work on this particular video. I ain't no tell y'all what it's gonna be about just yet, but it's something that y'all been waiting on for a while. I just never got around to it. That's probably gonna be the biggest hint of what it's gonna be. But I'm trying my best to drop that on my birthday. So after this, I'm about to go MIA so I can get this popping, and we gonna see. We gonna see if I can do this, if I can reach my goal. So again, I appreciate all of y'all for joining me on this Sunday. And like I always say, no matter what, you got to stay shining. You got to stay shining.
Yeah, in the name of Jesus. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. And every tongue that rises against me in judgment thou shalt condemn. Lord, give me a sign. I really need to talk to you, Lord. Since the last time we talked, the walk has been hard. Now I know you haven't left me, but I feel like I'm alone. I'm a big boy now, but I'm still not grown. And I'm still going through it. Pain and the hurt, soaking up trouble like rain in the dirt. And I know only I can stop the rain with just a mention of my Savior's name. In the name of Jesus, devil, I rebuke you for what I go through and trying to make me do what I used to. But all that stops right here. As long as the Lord's in my life, I will have no fear. I will know no pain from the light to the dark. I will show no shame, spit it right from the heart. Cause right from the start, you held me down and ain't nothing they can tell me now. Lord, give me a sign. Let me know what's on your mind. Let me know what I'm gon' find. It's all in time. Show me how to teach the mind. Show me how to reach the blind. Lord, give me a sign. Show me what I got to do to bring me closer to you. Cause I'ma go through whatever you want me to. Just let me know what to do. Lord, give me a sign.
But what's money without happiness? Or hard times without the people you love? Though I'm not sure what's about to happen next, I ask for strength from the Lord up above. Cause I've been strong so far, but I can feel my grip loosening. Quick, do something before you lose it for good. Get it back and use it for good. And touch the people how you did like before. I'm tired of living with demons cause they always inviting more. Think being broke was better. Now I don't mean that phrase with no disrespect to all my niggas out there living in debt, cashing minimal checks. Turn on the TV, see a nigga Rolex, and fantasize about a life with no stress. I mean this shit sincerely. And as a nigga who was once in your shoes, living with nothing to lose, I hope one day you hear me. Always gonna be a bigger house somewhere, but nigga feel me. Long as the people in that motherfucker love me dearly.
Let me know what's on your mind. Let me know what I'm gon' find. It's all in time. Show me how to teach the mind. Show me how to reach the blind. Lord, give me a sign. Show me what I got to do to bring me closer to you. Cause I'ma go through whatever you want me to. Just let me know what to do. Lord, give me a sign. Please show me something. I'm tired of talking to him, knowing he frontin'. Crying about life ain't nothing. But you either be the one mad cause you trapped or the one hunting. Trapped in your own mind, waiting on the Lord. Or hunting with the word that cuts like a sword. The spoken word is stronger than the strongest man. Carries the whole world like the strongest hand. Through the trials and tribulations, you never let us down, Jesus. I know you're here with us now, Jesus. I know you're still with us now. Keep it real with us now. I wanna feel, show me how. Please let me take your hand, guide me. I walk slow but stay right beside me. Devil's trying to find me, hide me. Hold up, I take that back. Protect me and give me the strength to fight back. Give me a sign. Let me know what's on your mind. Let me know what I'm gon' find. It's all in time. Show me how to teach the mind. Show me how to reach the blind. Lord, give me a sign. Show me what I got to do to bring me closer to you. Cause I'ma go through whatever you want me to. Just let me know what to do. Lord, give me a sign.
My crew was lame. I had enough heart for most of them. Long as I got stuff for most of them soft. Even when I was wrong, I got my point across. They depicted me the boss. Of course, my orange box cut to make the world go round. Plus I'm fucking bitches ain't my homegirls now. Start stacking, dabbled in crack, gun